And bam, bam, bam. What is up? And welcome back to Nando Talk. We've got a pretty good conversation lined up for us today. I'm going to be talking a little bit more about Vic Fangio, about what a new defensive coordinator is going to mean to the Miami Dolphins, what we can expect maybe for some changes on defense. I'll speculate a little bit on offense as well, since we have to improve offensive line, since we've still got to improve so much to see. We still have to work on as well. Our secondary depth, offensive line depth, so many other positions to work on. So I will be speculating a little bit on that. But as you can notice, I've got my serious cap on. That's right, a new addition to the hats. We've got the serious cap. We've seen the tinfoil hat, of course. We have seen the absolute homer hat with the little fin on top. But right now, we got the serious hat on right now. And the reason I had the serious hat on is because before I talk about defensive coordinator, before I talk about defense, before I talk about offense, guys, there are so many positions in the NFL to be worried about for the Miami Dolphins. We have to fix so many holes. We have to strengthen so many areas that are lacking critical depth. It's going to be a quick 25-minute video. But what I want to touch on first is, can we please, for the love of God, chill on the quarterback talk for a bit? It is the start of the offseason. The Dolphins have only been out of the playoffs for 5 freaking days. 5 days since the season ended. Chris Greer already went out on a press conference with Mike McDaniel and said, I would say with Tua, he is our starting quarterback. I mean, I don't know how I can say it more clearly. My guy is nipping this in the bud this season. He's done with the trade talks, done with all this other outside talks. Whether you like him or not, Tua is going to be on this Miami Dolphins team for the foreseeable future, okay? They're most likely going to pick up the fifth-year option for him on May 2nd. They're going to commit to him for at least another season. McDaniel and Greer have already said so. Well, why not talk about so many other positions? Why not talk about our defensive line, our offensive line, our running backs, our receivers, our tight ends, our secondary, our linebackers? So many other positions that the Miami Dolphins can be talked about. So many other things that can be explored, speculated on this season. We just opened up a defensive coordinator spot. You know this defense is going to be shifting, at the very least reorganizing, with different scheme, different coaches being brought in, different whatever, okay? We'll see when we get our new man. But for right now, to sit here and just consistently talk and bang the same points about QB, whether it's on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you find your Dolphins news, I know all of us Dolphins fans are tired of just hitting quarterback talk. There are so many other things to talk about for the Miami Dolphins, and we can get to QBs when they start trying to make moves maybe for a backup, or there's more rampant trade talks or free agency moves when it comes to March. But in January, why not look for, I don't know, more immediate issues to fill, more things that the Dolphins are actually going to be hitting at, like defensive coordinator, guys. And this is where we'll begin, the defensive coordinator talk. We did fire Josh Boyer, the mixed bag, and we talked a little bit about it yesterday on Tinfoil Hat Thursdays. That was a fun time going down the rabbit hole, different defensive coordinators we can be bringing in, because it is a big choice. Guys, right now it seems like the Dolphins are looking at a guy like Vic Fangio or Todd Bowles. I think they're aiming more for an established veteran, which is why Josh Boyer at first didn't seem like he was going to get fired. And then they said, you know what? There are still some big names out there, some big men who can generate a culture shift. Let's think about them. And they moved on from Boyer. So best of luck to you, Josh, in the future. Thanks for what you've done to the Miami Dolphins the last couple of years. There's definitely been some games where you have put in some fight. You look at that Bills game, you look at the Jets game. Those were some good competitive defensive matches. So thank you, boss. But we are moving forward. I think that this defense has a lot of talent, a lot of great pieces. We've seen the D-line already. Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips, Emmanuel Ogbah coming back from injury. Christian Wilkins, if we resign him, he's an absolute monster. Zach Sealer keeps on tapping level after level, going up and up and up. The talent is there on that side. On the secondary is a bit banged up. You know, Xavier Howard. I'm taking off this hat. But Xavier Howard, we had who was the only healthy, and I say healthy secondary, it's a healthy corner back we had. And that's really, if you don't look at the fact that he was playing through injuries himself, Hap's coming back on because it's too late now. What can we see about this Miami Dolphins? Like, what can we expect for this defense that has all this talent, has all these pieces, and for lack of a better word, just needs to be activated, just needs someone who's going to put them in the best position to succeed? We saw what Mike McDaniel can do for an offense. We saw him bring that culture shift, bring about that change, and inspire new life, breathe new energy into the offense. And I'd like to see an established coordinator do the same thing for our defense, because like I said, we've got the talent. We had a bit of a banged up Xavier Howard, We have guys like Nick Needham, Trill Williams, Brandon Jones are coming back next year. We have these pieces in place. What we need is someone who's going to put them in places that are going to maximize their talent. We're going to actually be succeeding. As cool as it was to try to see Jerome Baker explore his capabilities of being a true middle linebacker, if he can patrol the middle, well, he's better as a blitzer. He's better as someone who's going to get after the quarterback. He's a bit undersized for a middle linebacker. Let him use his athleticism to the best of his capabilities. Okay. Things like Jalen Phillips dropping into coverage. No, send Jalen Phillips after the QB. Let him take that man down and absolutely create havoc. We saw that Jalen Phillips in the beginning half of the season, when he was dropping a lot into coverage, was very head scratching. When he starts getting after the quarterback more, that's when he starts lighting it up, becoming a presence on the field. I want to see a veteran tap that in. And if it's going to be Fangio, I'm down for it. He also has previous experience working with Bradley Chubb in Denver on the Broncos from 2019 to 2021. It's a man who, talk about putting someone in the best position to succeed. If he knows Chubb's strengths already, that gives us a leg up on that edge. I think that even a guy like Todd Bowles, who has his own ideas, was a former head coach, maybe didn't pan out there, but still a great defensive mind, would go a long way in helping the Dolphins. There is even talk of, I'm going to absolutely butcher this guy's name. I think it's Lubrich. It's the San Francisco 49ers defensive coordinator. So let me double check how to spell this guy's name. Bada bing, bada bam. Oh, no, I'm talking about D'Amico Ryans. Who am I talking about? Oh, no, never mind. Scratch that. Bada bing, bada swing. And a miss. The point is, I'm sure McDaniel has his kind of guys that he wants to call in. I'm sure that Mike McDaniel wants to start implementing this a little bit better. And we did free up other coaching staff spots as well. We fired offensive outside linebackers coach. We fired an assistant linebackers coach and a safeties coach. We are bringing in these personnel switches. And with new coaches, new scheme, new identity on defense means some big questions to be asked. How greatly is this scheme going to change? Are we going to be making a lot of trades like we talked about yesterday? Maybe for sure Byron Jones is going to be leaving. What are we going to do with X? I think X stays. We have the serious hat on, not the tinfoil hat, so no zany speculations right now. But it's going to be interesting to see with this Dolphins team how they start moving forward. And that's why I want a defensive coordinator ASAP. Rocky, please get him right now, so him and McDaniel and Greer can sit down, plan together what they are going to be doing. What holes are going to be addressed in free agency? Do we need to trade? Do we need to start scoping out things in the draft? Obviously, I would love to see a real linebacker, a true middle linebacker, be added to this Dolphins team. We're going to have to see how that looks a little bit in free agency. I don't know how much money we're truly going to have to be able to allocate to that position, considering how big Jerome Baker's contract is. But I would love to see some help there. I don't think we're going to be moving on from Ogba. I think he is going to be returning. His seems to be recovering from health greatly. There's a lot of talk that he would have played in Kansas City this weekend if we were going to the Chiefs. Oh, dang, man. I want to see this Dolphins team just start piecing itself a little bit together. I was a little bit flustered when we moved on from Josh Boyer, simply because I wanted continuity. I wanted a little bit more stability. But if we are going to take a swing, let us take a big swing, please. Because a good defensive coordinator means we're going to get good pieces as well. Hmm. I mean, at a linebacker, there's talks about maybe getting someone like Tremaine Edmonds. That's what I was trying to look at really quick. Um, Nothing too crazy. TJ Edwards is also going to be available for the Eagles. David Long from the Titans. So a couple linebackers that could be cool. Jermaine Pratt, Alex Singleton from the Broncos. Yeah, there are some, not necessarily break the bank. The Miami Dolphins are gonna have to splash the cash to get these guys. There's some good, decent options we can get to help fill in our role, because Duke Riley, Landon Roberts, their contracts are also up, and a new defensive coordinator. I do believe he is going to be bringing in his own veterans, his own guys that'll be either camp guys or see if they have upside or guys he's just worked in the past and knows his scheme better. We'll see if Duke Riley, Landon Roberts, guys like that can survive the holdover. But for now, I do think there are big moves coming on this defense. I think that we'll bring back most of our secondary because those injuries will allow us to get them for a little cheaper. Guys like Nick Needham, who are coming off that second round tender. There's already Dolphins expressed interest in bringing him back. That'd be awesome. Not only is that a class act on us, but it's also a guy who we know fits with the Dolphins team very well. He was a great slot corner when he's with us. I'd love to see Mr. 40 come back and fill in that role again. Keon Crossan is also nicked up a little bit throughout this season. He's another guy who would come in for nice. Trill Williams, I think, is still under contract, but if we wanted to work something out with him as well, I think Trill is primed for some big boy things. You know, he tore his ACL very early in the offseason. When he comes back, he's going to be hungry, 6'1", 200 pounds. He adds that physicality, that size to the secondary that we were sorely lacking at times. We've got some good guys, but a lot of them are more undersized. Look at Cater. He's about 5'11". Very good, but that's why he has to be so handsy. It's why he gets so many defensive pass interferences because he's a little smaller. There's a little bit of, has to improve his technique as well, but he is also a little bit lacking that size. So getting someone like Trill back will be awesome. And obviously getting Brandon Jones back as well, a defensive leader, Mr. Boom Man, Blitz Boy Brandon Jones, number 29, one of the most surefire tacklers in the NFL. I think this man, when he went down, it was a massive blow to this Dolphins secondary. Not only did we lose a great box safety, but a physical, hard-hitting presence that just let himself be known. Whether it was making the quarterback's nightmare a living hell by destroying his receivers over the middle or by going into the backfield and taking down the man himself. Brandon Jones, you are sorely, sorely missed, man. I cannot wait to get this buddy back. But how are we feeling, Dolphins fans, so far? The serious hat, I'm not a big hat guy, so they're a fun time for me to throw on though when I'm streaming. It's almost like a little personality shift, you know. So this is some nice serious talk though, nice little serious conversation. I'm only going on for another probably 10-15 minutes. Very short video, but I just wanted to hit the nice points and let us know that there's a lot of good talks to be had. But enough is so serious, man. You know, a little switch up on the vibes. It is fins up, chins up Friday. So, of course, that has to mean a little bit of positivity. I'm confident that this team is going to do very, very well. Okay. I wholeheartedly believe in this team's ability to go out there and make some noise. 9-8 was a bit tough, but hopefully, like I said, new defensive coordinator, new energy there. Our offensive players having another year in this scheme, maybe some more money invested on an offensive line. It'll help out the depth there. Connor Williams, you did great. Robert Hunt as well. Teron Armstead, a little bit more health would be nice, but I can't criticize you for your on-field play. You were absolutely phenomenal. So it really comes down to staying healthy, continuing to grow, and be better in our week to week play. Okay. Actually having consistency. And again, a lot of that will be improved when we stay healthier, but I do believe that the Miami Dolphins are poised to make noise. I'm pulling up our 2023 schedule because it is a fun one. And without further ado, let's just stream it over and switch a ding ding, a ring a bing bing, a share the screen. And here you have it. How can you not be excited as a Miami Dolphins fans, guys? Fins up, chins up Friday. We talked a little bit about the defense. We talked about a little bit moves there. What we can see with the new defensive coordinator, what that'll mean. But I want to get the vibes up, get this energy a rocking and rolling again, guys. We are going to have a 9 home games this season, 8 away. I think a game in Germany as well, from what I remember off the top of my head right now. Oh, baby, if we're going to Germany, I'd love to go. A little Munich vibes. We out there with I know there's some great Dolphins fans out there in Germany in Europe, that we've got some great fans in general, but Germany in particular, what an experience that would be. As for the home games, though, as a Dolphin season ticket holder, and I am planning on upgrading up to the 100s right now, probably section 130 or 128. I'm currently in 349, but right now we're going to vibe it out regardless. My flipper is all the way up, my fin, whatever you want to call it. It is all the way up because we look at that. Look at that stretch. We should kick ass at home. Okay. I want to go 5-1 in the AFC East in general. That is sweeps of the Patriots and the Jets, and maybe a split with the Bills because they're still going to be a tough team. But that split of Buffalo means a home Dolphins win. So you got the Bills. This is obviously not in order. We've just been given the opponents. So let's take it in the order presented. Bills, Patriots at home, and the Jets. I think that's all wins. The Broncos, the god-awful Broncos who have like the 5th overall pick this year. Yeah. Oh, no, sorry. The Seahawks have the 5th overall pick because the Broncos traded that first rounder away for Russell Wilson, and it exploded in their face. As a serial Russell Wilson hater, I am not afraid of this game at all. If anything, I am so excited. I hope I sit in seat in row 128, section 128. Sorry, excuse me. I hope I sit down below. I hope I'm able to get physical, get loud, and I pray that little Russell Wilson hears me. Mr. Limited himself, leading the Broncos to an abysmal record. Got Nathaniel Hackett fired as well. You love to see it. I think that is our 4 easy wins for the Dolphins at home. And you know that Bradley Chubb is going to want to play lights out and absolutely dog on them Broncos. And if we get Vic Fangio, even better. A former team of his as well. You know he's going to want to slice them up as well. Give me those first 4 games as wins for the Dolphins at home. The Raiders. As well, that's a freaking win, okay? Look what they're doing. They're going to move on from Derek Carr. Who knows who they're going to bring in? Unless they bring in like an Aaron Rodgers type guy to relink up with Devontae Adams. And even then, I don't see that really happening. I'm not Mike McDaniel over Josh McDaniels any freaking day of the week. So you give me that to the Miami Dolphins as well. The Cowboys is probably the only game where it's going to be a little tough considering they have such a freaking fast, strong defense, and Micah Parsons is a freaking monster. That might be the one game I think that we're going to lose at home. But besides that, 8-1 is in the cards, in the books. You know it is ready to rock. We'll beat the Giants as well. Yes, they've done well. Yes, Brian Daboll is very nice. But I think that we would cream the Giants at home, okay? It's Dolphin time. You think versus the Cowboys would be prime time? First of all, Freddie, thank you for tuning in, boss man. I appreciate you. I do think that would be a nice prime time game. We know how the media loves to slobber over the Dallas Cowboys. I definitely believe that they would put that game in a prime time slot. Maybe like a Monday night game or hopefully Sunday night again football. That'd be beautiful. But, maybe they switch it up, give us the Monday night football. That'd be a nice time. So, yes, I think it'd be prime time. We will take a brief break from this little schedule talk, though. That's a nice question. Ruski, yo. What is my draft predictions? I heard rumors we might get Richardson. What are your predictions? Well, it really just depends, especially with an Anthony Richardson kind of deal. It would depend on, I think his value is going to be very volatile depending on where teams rank him. Some will see him as more raw. Some will see him as that talent you cannot afford to pass up on. He is a gunslinger with absolute wheels, so athletic, still only touching the very tip of the iceberg on his talent. I even saw talks that the Ravens might go for him. This is a Daniel Jeremiah mock draft, so not just any random person. Daniel Jeremiah, awesome NFL draft analyst. He had the Ravens going for Anthony Richardson, whether or not they re-signed Lamar. Well, that was more of either they let Lamar walk or franchise tagged him. He thinks they would draft Anthony Richardson to either be a replacement immediately or to fill in down the line as someone who fits that same kind of mold. So I do think, Anthony Richardson probably to the Dolphins wouldn't really happen unless he falls down the draft boards considerably. Remember, we've got only a second late round pick to really work around with. And then it's straight picks in the 70s again. I think it's the 77th pick. And I want to say our second rounder is the 57th pick. That's just off the top of my head, though. So I don't know if Anthony Richardson would last that long. I could see the Dolphins going for QB maybe in the 3rd or 4th round, but we do have a lot of holes to address. And like I said in the beginning of the video, like we do have to probably think about it. We'll maybe try to take offensive line, maybe shore up guard or tackle, whichever position is there, probably in the second round. Um, if not, maybe we take another corner to soften up the blow of Byron Jones. I'd I still have to dive a little bit more in the draft, and I will be doing some draft breakdowns, not only for the Dolphins, but also a little bit for Dynasty Fantasy Football. I'm two back-to-back champion in my Dynasty League, so I freaking love this stuff. Um, and I will be breaking some draft down stuff. So, Ruski, thank you for talking about that. I'm going to keep speculating on this. This is a pretty cool point. We'll get back to the schedule stuff in a second. Um, hmm. I really think in the second round we'll probably go either offensive line, linebacker, or corner. Really just depends on best talent available there. I'm hoping we don't do a fat reach, considering we do have a bit of holes to fill. If I had to say priority, depending on what, because I think we'll probably add out offensive line help in free agency. Linebacker, like I said, there's guys like Tremaine Edmonds, David Long Jr., TJ Edwards from the Eagles, like Jermaine Pratt from the Bengals. There's going to be some middle linebackers available. So if we get someone like there in free agency, to either, go hand in hand with Jerome Baker or someone who's a slight upgrade, I think that a priority will probably be corner, linebacker, offensive line help. Again, I'd have to see which real corners are going to be available there in the second round. After that, though, obviously we'll still have the other two holes that we didn't address in the second round. But I think at the third or fourth round, McDaniel might also be looking at a running back. Again, that might change if in the free agency we get someone like a Josh Jacobs, like a Tony Pollard, or even if we go for a cheaper back like Jamal Williams. But barring that, I do think we're going to be adding something in the draft. I'd love to see what Mike McDaniel can do with an actual high pick on running back. And I say high, the third or fourth round pick is still a pretty decent investment on running backs. Kareem Hunt was a third round pick. Just off the top of my head. There's most backs are better on day 1 and 2, but if you can still get someone in the third or fourth round, and third round is still the end of day 2, you can still find some nice little snags. So quarterback would be cool. My big talk was maybe we get someone like Stetson Bennett, a veteran who maybe doesn't have the highest ceiling, but we know he can fill and be ready to go whenever he's ready to rock. But who knows what falls at round 2, or if we even trade up, if someone is very tantalizing, someone that really is high on our boards. It's going to be interesting to see with this quarterback class, because after Bryce Young and after Bryce Young, I really don't think there's a consensus on the number 2 and 3 quarterback. Depends on whether you want the dynamic CJ Stroud or do you want the cannon and the intangibles of Will Levis. So we'll be talking some more draft talk later on. But Ruski, great freaking question. I love that. It's going to be interesting to see what we do with late round picks again, guys. No first round pick is going to be interesting again for the Dolphins, but considering our track record with first rounders, I'm almost more confident with Greer in those second and third round picks. Second round picks that I can remember recently off the top of my head. Yes, we have Eichenberg, but we also have guys like Robert Hunt, Javon Holland. Third round picks, we've got our fair share of whiffs, but we also have guys like Brandon Jones. So, mixed bag. So I'm pretty excited right now. I played the mock draft and I picked the 2 players I want for the Dolphins. That's Tucker Kraft or Darnell Washington, and the RB being Devon Achane, and that Georgia running back. I also don't know the Georgia running back's name, but I kind of know who you're talking about. Because like I said, Dynasty Fantasy Football, dynamic. I'm down for a nice runner, especially those later end guys. Obviously, in an ideal world, would it be cool to see Bijan Robinson pair up on this McDaniels offense? Of course. Would it be nice to get some guy, I'm going to totally butcher his name, Jahmyr Gibbs, from Bama? Of course. That guy's getting compared to Alvin Kamara. Could you imagine an Alvin Kamara-like talent in the McDaniels offense? But realistically, again, unless these running backs really fall, we're going to be getting these later end guys. So I'd love to see that, boss. Ruski. Ooh, thanks for tuning in, by the way. I don't think I've ever seen you on the channel, man. So thank you. I appreciate that. Tucker Kraft would be cool, man. A nice little tight end. South Dakota State. I love the Jackrabbits, man. They had a running back come out of there, Zachary Zenner, running back from South Dakota State a couple years back. I like the Jackrabbits, man. So Tucker Craft, that'd be pretty cool, man. Trying to see his size right now. 6'5". Okay, we take that, man. And I like that. 22 years old. Tight ends usually take a little bit longer to develop, man, but that could be cool, especially since we're going to be letting Mike Gesicki walk. It'd be nice to bring him back. It'd be cool if in an ideal world we give him wide receiver 3 money because that's kind of how we use him. But I just don't see it happening. So getting someone like Tucker Craft, especially considering that we're going to be picking up a third rounder if Gesicki walks, that could be nice to fill in there. Darnell Washington as well. How big is he? Doo, 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 doo. Oh yeah, give me more Bulldogs, man. Oh yeah, this is the 6'7", 269-pound tight end from last year. Oh yeah. Please, 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 please. Ooh, wow. That's nice. They've got some crazy talent coming out of Georgia once again, but getting a guy like Tucker Craft, 6'5", or Darnell Washington, 6'7", 269 pounds. I think Darnell Washington might now be my new favorite player in the draft to come in now, Ruski. Thank you for implanting that into my brain. I'll give you credit. Shout out Ruski237. But at Darnell Washington, I don't even know why I had slipped my mind. Um, wow. Wow. Just that size and that frame, teaching him how to be a better NFL blocker as well. Talk about a mismatch. John Embry, I know, would be drooling to have him. Him and Mike McDaniel, they'd be having, oh my God. Wes Welker and McDaniel would be tugging him. Let's talk Tyreek, Embry and McDaniel. Let's talk Darnell Washington. Oh my God, that's my new fever dream now. Let's go. Been a Dolphin fanboy for 22 years. I'm 25 now. Let's go, boss. I'm 24. I appreciate that. Been a Dolphins fan since 3 years old, but I mainly want Tavon. I'm going to butcher his name. Tavon Achane. He'd be the Tyreek Hill as a running back. And those tight end, either one would be deadly. I'd be more down for Darnell Washington, not only because of the size, but also because Tucker Craft, as much as I love South Dakota State, smaller school. So obviously I want the more established program. But hey, talent is talent. So we are down to go. I know I keep butchering my man Devon's name, but hey, yeah, Texas A&M. Ooh, I love me a good 5'9" running back as well. I call me old school. 5'9" is the perfect size for a running back, man. Nice and tight, low to the ground, cut. And if he could be that Tyreek Hill role, if he is that fast, that lightning game, young man, I am not totally familiar with your game yet. But anyone who is picking up on the boots of Isaiah Spiller and that lightning speed he displayed at Texas A&M, Devon, I'm down to see you on the squad, bro. He's also from Texas as well. So, hey, as a Florida guy, I trust Florida football and Texas football above all. So let's rock and roll with it. Dang. Now, Steve Ruski, this is one of my favorite parts of being in the offseason, delving into the draft. And I know the Dolphins season just ended, but you've already got me excited. I will be starting positional breakdowns for the draft soon, hopefully as soon as next week. Um, Still a little early, obviously, but maybe I'll start it off as general Dolphins topics to hit. Um, We'll see how it goes. I just realized I passed midnight and the show was supposed to end earlier. That way I could say I streamed every single day. Technically, this video is going to be uploaded now on Saturday, but who cares? We all know that Nando did it. Okay. We all know I was streaming 5 days in a row. We rock and rolled with it. Top it off, if we don't get Richardson, there'll be deadly QBs next year, but there's 3 QBs. It'll be Cam Ward, Tanner McKee, and the Fresno State quarterback. Yeah, like next year we can make some more quarterback moves. This year we probably don't have the capital to get any of the top guys. Unless you're talking about are these this year guys? Again, I've got to dive in a lot more into the draft. That is one of the areas that I fail in as a football fan because I go to FIU, because I went to Syracuse. College football never really got ingrained to me as it should. I start picking it up now towards draft time a little bit more. Oh yeah, Cam Ward way too young to go to the draft. He's a sophomore. I like this though. Washington State, go Cougs, baby. Okay, a little. Okay. I like that. Ruski, we'll be talking for sure for draft talk coming soon, man. Always liked breaking it up with fresh takes like that, man. Dang. Darnell Washington. Actually, just screen. I screenshotted my laptop. I was gonna try to write it down on notes, but Ruski, I like some of those guys. I'm gonna be breaking them down a little bit further in. Probably start next week with some Dolphins draft potential moves. It'll probably be either yeah, probably Tuesday. That'll be probably the talk it out Tuesday topic. Give me a couple days to research as well. Get a couple more names, but we will for sure have Darnell Washington atop that board. Bada bing, bada bam. Ruski, I appreciate you, man. I feel you. 25 years now, 22 years a Dolphins fan. I'm 24. I've probably been a Dolphins fan for 17 years. 18 years. I'm self-taught as a Fins fan. I'm from Peru. No one in my family knew football until I did. As a child growing up, I always thought my dad knew the rules and I thought he was a hero for understanding. And now as a 24-year-old, when I watch football with my dad and I'm still explaining to him stuff, I realized he was just humoring me all these years ago and he knew nothing. He was just watching. What a great guy. But hmm, do 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 do. Who should be our priority to sign with? I think if we're going for linebacker, man, like Tremaine Edmonds is my number one linebacker on the board. He'd be freaking phenomenal. Nice mix of a veteran, but as well not too old. Still can provide some nice years for us. Very very great talent, and also you get to steal him from Buffalo, so that'd be pretty cool for me. Um, hmm. I'm trying to look at this free agency list really quick. Because corner, I don't really think there's any crazy corners coming into free agency. We might be able to add someone that's depth, but unless we're getting an old vet like a Pat Peterson or James Bradbury, I don't really want anyone too crazy. Okay. Jamel Dean, no offense, if he's the top of this guy on this list. Like I saw what Tyreek and Waddle were doing. They absolutely destroyed Jamel Dean last year in training camp. So I don't need to see that matchup again. And then at tackle, maybe like a Jack Con. I don't know. They're saying we're going to bring back Austin Jackson. So we'll have to see what we actually do. I'd say middle linebacker, man. I'm going for Tremaine Edmonds. Final answer. Yeah, exactly. That's if we can afford him. It'll be pretty cool to see how we value this running back position, whether we are going for the cheap and bringing back Mostert or Wilson or even both. Um, are we going to stick with that backfield and go for a little bit of the draft? Are we going to go for a Josh Jacobs? Dude, there's even people talking about let's go for Derrick Henry. That's way too expensive. But a guy like Josh Jacobs, a Tony Pollard would be cool. Miles Sanders is going to hit the block as well. Dave Montgomery would seem like they were going to re-sign him, but with the emergence of Khalil Herbert, I do think they will let him walk. There'll be some pretty cool running backs out there. It's not a position I want to invest too much. It is only for most of these guys their second contract, so that is cool. And with guys like Pollard, they don't have too much wear and tear. They've got a lot more tread on their tires, but it's not a position we should spend too much money considering we have holes and depth issues along this roster, honestly. But hey, if we get a Jacobs guy, that would be so delicious to see Mike McDaniel get a true workhorse feature back like that to be able to confidently, consistently pound that rock down opponents' throats. Yeah, defensive coach, man. I definitely I want Fangio or I want Todd Bowles. Like, I want an established veteran. I want someone who's not learning on the job. Like, as cool as it would have been, there's some talk about promoting from within from the Dolphins. Maybe we could have. You were saying, "Oh, why didn't we promote Sam Addison and keep Pat Surtain by offering him a full-time defensive back job instead of being just the assistant?" That would have been cool and all. It'd have been nice to continue with the stability, but I do think that brings someone from the outside, an established vet, a guy that McDaniel no longer has to worry about whether the defense is being handled. A guy he knows, I can worry about offense, and this veteran, this old head, this guy who's got it figured out. Yeah, he'll manage our defense. So a guy like Fangio would be cool, also because he worked with Bradley Chubb. But either Fangio or a guy like Todd Bowles would be pretty cool. I get Bowles failed as a head coach, but talk about presence, talk about culture. It's a man who's won a Super Bowl as well. He's got that presence. I think as a defensive coordinator, he'd be a lot better suited, and we saw him do wonders as that in Arizona. So we rock and roll. Dun 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 dun. Dun. Hold on, my dogs are being. Oh no, they stopped. They stopped. They stopped. They weren't being too annoying, guys. Oh, psych, psych, psych. Hopefully that helped. Hmm. Uh, How are we feeling on this fine evening to be a Miami Dolphins fans, guys? This video did go for a little longer than I thought it would. If you're here, if you like the video, drop a like. That'd be pretty cool. It's past midnight. We're still vibing. We still got our fins up and we still are pumping up some positive vibes. If you want to catch more positive vibes, you can always subscribe. That's greatly appreciated. Bada bing, bada bang. These are the socials. That's the YouTube and the Twitter. Subscribe for more positive vibes. Always a fun time. And I saw a great comment, so I'm going right back to that. Freddie, you are totally right. Jack Del Rio would be a very interesting defensive coordinator as well. That's what I'm talking about. Big names like that. Like Boyer, I think, had a mixed bag. I think there were times where he brought the best out of the defense. There were times where he had head scratching decisions that I didn't know if it was just his refusal to adjust or his stubbornness to stay committed to what he believed is right, or just lack of personnel and injuries got the best of him. Mixed bag. I do think he'll get a job soon. I don't think he's done in the NFL, but an established veteran would go a long way. And it's the only plausible thing I could see as to why we moved on from Josh Boyer is because we want to improve. And as a team trying to be a championship contender, as a team always trying to now, hopefully, always trying to go for the Super Bowl. If we're not happy at a position, I do not fault the front offense for trying to improve, whether that is in the players or in the coaching staff. So if they get Jacobs, no need to get a running back in the draft class. Agreed. Focus on getting a tight end. Cough, cough. Darnell Washington. Yes, I agree now. It's a 6'7", 269-pound monster. Oh, yes. Then trade two of her picks and get a better QB next year. Tua so far, it looks like Greer and McDaniel are committed to him. That being said, we all know this is January 21st. Was January 20th when the video started. Now it's the 21st. Time moves forward. I think that if Tua has another mixed bag this year, then yeah, trade and try to get those picks up. I don't know if they'll trade him this year. I don't think so. I think Tua deserves another shot on the team based off what we've seen. I don't think we can judge it off talent. I think it is availability. That being said, I would have been down to, there's like I said, I'm down to keep upgrading at every position on this team until we win a Super Bowl. That's the only way we're going to win. But that being said, I don't know if we can really upgrade from Tua right now, considering we don't have the assets and there's not really that many available options. And we won't really get that much value from trading Tua right now. The injuries he's coming off, he's probably most valuable to us, if anything. So giving him another year to either increase his value or see whether he is the guy or not would go a long way for the Dolphins. But for the most part, besides that, I did agree with almost all those points, Ruski. But hey, Dolphins fans are always allowed to disagree as long as we do it in a healthy way, guys. Remember, it's like arguing with your family at Thanksgiving. You can fight, but as long as you're still able to share a meal, that's all that matters. So we rock and roll. Jack Del Rio. Heck yeah. A lot of interesting moves are coming from the Miami Dolphins. I truly, truly believe that. And I'm going to be very excited to see how this team starts to shake that out. I want to see a defensive coordinator get hired ASAP Rocky so he can. God dang, I can't believe I just said that twice in one video. I want the Miami Dolphins to hire a defensive coordinator as soon as possible so that we can absolutely start shaping the identity of this team. So whether it's new coaching staff hires that we need to add, because like I said, outside linebacker, assistant linebacker, and safety coach, all those jobs are up and available right now. And who knows, defensive coordinator might want to shake house even more. And again, if we're bringing a veteran, he has every right to do so. I do think that we're not done moving things on offense, even though Greer and McDaniel expressed their desire to have some stability, not shake up things too much. I do think we'll see one or two moves that will elevate our pulse, get us a little excited again. What they may be, we'll have to see. Again, speculations are further reserved for Thursday. They say that, oh yeah, bro, Riley Moss. I knew who that was because of the stash. Okay. That man, phenomenal stash for Iowa. Okay. Them them boys. Okay. The hot guys. I always love those black and yellow unis, almost like the Steelers colors. But hey, we rock and roll, boss. I'd be down for that. A little Riley Moss action. We do, I think, like I said, I think that our second round pick is probably going to be used on corner, especially if we move Byron Jones. Hopefully, we get a second round pick and we can use that second rounder on a corner, but we'll see how that goes as well. Probably get a third rounder for him at least. But hey, I think that this Dolphins team is not done. I think that they're going to be making some bigger moves upcoming soon, and I for one am excited to see it. If you enjoyed this video, like I said, drop a like, comment, let me know what you thought. Let me know what free agency moves you're going to be thinking. Let me know if you're tired of the QB talk. Let me know if you want to focus more on defense, focus more on offensive moves, who you want as a defensive coordinator, and how soon I should start covering our draft stuff, because draft and free agency is all the Miami Dolphins have to be excited for right now. The playoffs aren't over. Next season hasn't begun yet. But for the Miami Dolphins, it is time for us to be thinking ahead. So thank you all for tuning into this video. It was a quicker one. Oh, before I go, actually, let me finish this. Like I said, I had gone into the Giants game. I think that the first 6 games are all 6 wins. Oh, except for the Cowboys game. Let's say we lose that one. So these aren't in order, obviously, but the first 5 home games we see here: Bills win, Patriots win, Broncos win, Jets win, Raiders win, Cowboys, let's say it's a loss, Giants, that's a win, Titans a win, Panthers a win. That's 8-1 at home. Let's see, away we lose to the Bills, that's 8-2. Beat the Patriots, that's 9-2. Beat the Jets, that's 9-3. Lose to the Chiefs, that's 9-4. Beat the Chargers, that's 10-4. Let's say we beat the Commanders, that's 11-4. Beat the Ravens, that's 12-4. And with the Eagles, I will be a little bit more conservative here and say we lose in an epic battle with Hurts and Tua slinging it off. That'd be absolutely bonkers. Okay, all in all, a great schedule. Conservatively 11-6, but my math got us out to 12-5. That'd be a fun time, and I think an awesome round at home would do wonders for this team, for this fan base. To consistently see us win and kick ass at home will go a long way. I think that there's big things poised ahead for the Miami Dolphins. I just wanted to cover that little schedule out, and I will be going to an away game next year. I'm looking at the Chiefs game, the Eagles game, or the Chargers game. Hopefully going to 2 out of those 3. But I'll let you guys know as that goes on. I'm also upgrading my season tickets at home, though. So, hey, I'm only one man with one wallet. But thank you all for tuning in. This has been an awesome video. It was supposed to go for only 25 minutes. We ended up going a little longer because we made some new friends. Ruski237, thanks for tuning in, boss. Freddie, I know I've seen you around as well. But to everyone who tunes in, thank you for keeping me company on this late night edition of Nando Talk. It is supposed to be a fins up, chins up Friday. Extended a little into Saturday, but hey, still a good vibe, still a good time. We usually had good Dolphins fans keeping us company through and through, and I appreciate everybody who tuned in. Like I said before, drop a like if you enjoyed this. Comment some thoughts, who you think is defensive coordinator, what do you think our record will be, what offseason moves you want to see. And hey, we've got a lot of fun coming up. So subscribe if you want to catch it up. We have successfully done Monday to Friday, streaming every day. We still have to work on our timing and our scheduling and getting it consistently down. But for the first part, the first battle has been accomplished. Monday to Friday, Nando Talk, always bringing you positive vibes. We will be having, now that there are no game times, we can still have therapy Mondays, but I like to do a little play on words. So I'll probably be doing Monday musings, like thoughts. So Monday musings, we got Talk It Out Tuesdays. Oof, baby. We got the little Wakata Wednesdays, of course, with high energy, high action. We've got tinfoil hat Thursdays, where I always slap on the tinfoil hat and we do a nice little speculation and out and into it. And then, of course, we've got the fins up, chins up Friday with a nice vibe to set you off on this good weekend. I'll try to get some content out as well for Saturday. Probably just some clip ups of some of the other episodes throughout this week in case you guys missed it. You'll get to see some of the funnier moments as well. But until then, thank you all for tuning in to Nando Talk. It's been a pleasure. Fins up, chins up, and I will see you next time. Bada bing, bada bam. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you Monday for sure. Stay tuned for some clips or some YouTube shorts. Enjoy. Enjoy those playoff games as well. F it, I'm doing a playoff breakdown. Probably drop it. Why not?